Welcome to Zombie Advisor with James Knapp, the only podcast where being undead isn't an excuse for being unresponsive. This is the space where financial advisors and clients come together to break free from the old, slow-moving reactionary system. Tune in as we shake the dust off of outdated practices, dissect what really matters to today's clients, and tap into the brains of industry leaders who are actually alive, alert, and crushing it.
Welcome to Zombie Advisor, powered by Boyum Wealth Architects. Today is June 17th. The weather here in Bloomington today is 59 degrees and rainy. The worst day in market history on June 17th was in 2021. The Dow Jones Industrial and S&P 500 both posted their worst week as interest rates started to skyrocket up. Today we have a special guest, Ian Davy. Ian is a State Farm agent based in the Twin Cities, serving customers in Minnesota, North Dakota, Wisconsin, and Iowa. He and his team believe in a high level of service and working with his customers to thoroughly manage risk for when the catastrophic happens. Ian played soccer at Hamline University, married his high school sweetheart, Brittany, and they have 3 kids together. Welcome to the show, Ian.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this is great. So you are a St. Paul native. You marry your high school sweetheart, you go to college in St. Paul, and now you're living in St. Paul as a State Farm agent.
Yeah.
How'd you get here?
So, I grew up, like you said, grew up at St. Paul High School, elementary school, college, the whole deal.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to have my father-in-law, who's a really great attorney, know some State Farm agents, and he set me up with some contacts there. And what I ended up doing with these agents was I just went and did some informational interviews. I wasn't really looking for a job necessarily. He was just trying to explore.
Mm-hmm.
Met with these guys and kind of asked them about what they did. What really stood out to me was the autonomy that they had, the way they were able to grow, how their team worked, and kind of like a overarching goal to help people manage their risk, right?
Mm-hmm.
And quite frankly, be rewarded for it too. So I ended up going to work for a State Farm agent in Bloomington, actually just down the road from here. Part-time nights, basically doing cold calling, like complete grunt work, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if anyone has ever done cold calling, it's not the most glamorous job. It's not very fun, but
Boiler room
stuff, right?
Yeah.
But basically he gave me a book and said, hey, here's the script. Here you go. Let's give it a shot. And it turned out I was actually decent at it, which is kind of crazy, right? But, and we made it super competitive and it was fun and kind of able to onboard people a little bit that way. So I took it and ran with it. So then I worked for a State Farm agent for about 2 years. Then I was with the company internally for a little bit and opened my own shop in 2013.
Okay.
Right? So kind of been building since then. Yeah.
Okay. So now how many people work for you?
7. We have 7 people on our staff.
Is that like the appropriate size?
I'm trying to grow right now. So we actually I lost one, we hired 2, and then we're kind of on the lookout for another one right now.
Mm-hmm.
We have goals every year of how we want to grow, right?
Mm-hmm.
So typically a 10 to 15% gain ratio is what we're looking at. We're trying to say, okay, how many people fit into that? And then on top of that, if we're trying to do the right thing for the customer, right, we want to make sure that we're there for them, right? So as the business gets larger, we have to be able to service that at a really high level.
Mm-hmm.
I've been really lucky. My team, we have our sales team and we have our customer success side. The customer success side team I've had is stellar. So 2 of the people that work there, both of them have 25 years experience with State Farm.
Okay.
Another one, who is there with me has been with me personally for 10 plus years.
Okay.
So they're super high level, super efficient. So we've been able to kind of stem that really well. And now it's on the sales side, bringing on more people to help and buy into the vision and our core values that help us grow.
But you promote people, you mentor people.
We do. Yeah. So as we've grown, we've got 2 people on the team that are, in leadership, right? Or in kind of our core leadership team on the sales side and then on the customer success side. And one of the guys on the sales side has been with me for 7+ years. And it's probably the best part of the job for me is to watch these people grow and find A, what they like to do, B, what they're good at, right? And execute that at a really high level. And when they do, be rewarded for it, right? Like taking on some more responsibility. I think when you look at our industry, there's this vision of a insurance agent where it's, old dude behind a desk,
Maybe.
right?
Yeah.
Uh,
If you open up Webster's dictionary,
Right.
you can paint a picture.
You can paint a picture, right?
Yeah.
Maybe a couple people in the office, bad coffee brewing, right?
Yes. Maybe a cigarette back in the
maybe
day.
a cig, maybe a dart, right? But for us, it's like we have these core values that we live by, right? Commitment to excellence and winning is number one, right? Like, so when we have a conversation with a customer, whether they've been with us for 30 years or they're brand new, we want that to be as white glove and high level as possible with
Right.
them.
Yeah.
Honesty and integrity. So that's not just with the customer, right? Which is super important, right? We want the customer to, like, we're open book here. Like, we want you to know everything, good, bad, ugly, right?
Yeah.
But it's also with our team, right? Like, we have to be honest with ourselves and each other on how we operate and what's going to work for us. And the last thing is customer service above all else. When people hear customer service, a lot of times I think what they think is, oh, we're just, we're serving the customer, we're going to answer the phone and do this. And to me, what it really means is sometimes telling the customer, like, maybe something they don't
Didn't
want to
wanna
hear,
hear.
right?
Yep.
Like that, they didn't think about before, right? So if we have the team buy into those three things and they grow into that and we can achieve that as a team together, it'll definitely bring success, which we've seen. So
Yeah, for sure. Openness, winning, customer service. Customer service means so many different things to so many different people, right?
Correct. Yep.
Not just answering the phone, but getting back to people in a timely way, educating your customer, finding out what your customer's needs are, and then meeting those expectations. Because everybody comes in with a different level of customer service that they want. Whether you're staying at the Howard Johnson or the Four Seasons, there's a different level of customer service there.
Correct.
You get the turn down pillow with the chocolate, or you just get a pillow.
Right. Yeah. So I think for us, right, like it's all about meeting the customer where they are, right? And then making sure that whatever communication they need, they're getting from us. I mean, we have a program that we do. So when we onboard somebody, we're going to be really high level in that first meeting, second meeting, to make sure that they're understanding what they're getting and what they need, right? So when we talk about thorough risk analysis, we're really brass tacks. Like, I'm turning the paper over to you and saying, like, tell me what you're worth, right? Because this is a conversation we have with everybody. I don't necessarily care about the inconvenient, right? I care about the catastrophic.
Right.
So when we talk about inconvenient, it's inconvenient if you rear end somebody, you got to fix your $3,000 bumper, you pay your $500 deductible and move on. That stinks. It's not very fun.
Right.
What's catastrophic is if you're, banging down Highway 5 and you rear end somebody and now you're being sued, right? Like that's the piece that we want our customers to understand at a high level is the most important, right?
Correct.
And then how do we mitigate that, right? How do we offset costs for that? How do we make sure that you've got enough coverage, all that kind of stuff? So that's the front end. The second piece of that is something you and I talked about, you've talked about on your podcast for a long time. Sometimes when people buy an insurance policy, there's this expectation like, we're done.
Yep, I'm covered.
We're good.
Yeah.
Right?
See you never.
The question I always ask people is like, okay, so this could be first meeting, this could be the second meeting. What's changed in your life in the last 5 years? Right? Okay, well, new job, good or bad, right? I moved, bought a new house. I had my second kid, or my kid graduated college, right? Or maybe I retired, right?
Or have a new driver.
Right? You've got coming soon, right?
Yeah.
So let's try and predict the future a little bit here. What's going to happen in the next 5 years? So we reach out to this customer or any of our customers, we reach out to them every 2 years, right? We'll offer this meeting. Like, let's get together, review everything, make sure things are in order, make sure we didn't miss anything. And sometimes in between that time too, there's stuff on our side that's changing, right? So we're going through kind of a massive shift on some homeowners policy stuff, right? That we need to communicate with that customer as well. That's important for that catastrophic type loss, right? So it's, for us, right? We, again, back to the core values piece, that's serving the customer to me is like, we have to be able to reach out to that customer and know what's going on in their life so that when that worst call does happen, right, there's no ambiguity, right? We have a solid understanding of what's going on.
Yeah, it's terrible. We've experienced some amazing things and some awesome things for our clients and some terribly tragic things. We had a client whose daughter snuck out of the house and rolled a UTV. She was in the back of the vehicle. She was very young. They died. She died. And then it went to court.
Yeah.
And we have people who have been rear-ended or have been thrown from vehicles and they get sued. People drive into houses. We had somebody drive into our, there was a stolen vehicle and they were going about 85 miles an hour on the road in front of us and they hit the tree in front of us. The headlight hit the neighbor's house, which is about 150 feet away from where that tree was. And, you know, because it was on the boulevard, we were not responsible for it.
Right.
But I had to like check to see, is this going to hit my homeowners? Is this going to my umbrella? Where are we at on this?
Yeah. And when that, so what I found, and I've had a handful of claims, of more than a handful of claims over the years that run into this liability realm. What no one ever asks when that's happening is, how much am I paying for this?
Yeah.
So when we talk to the customer about this, like that is the least of your concern.
Correct.
Right? It's when you have this catastrophic loss, you're not worried about anything like that. You're worried about, okay, what's going to happen, right?
What's my risk? What's their risk?
Correct.
Who's at fault? Like,
Correct.
where are we at here?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So this gets into a whole nother conversation that we have with customers too, right? We talk about inconvenient versus catastrophic. The other piece is, what do you want to happen, right? Like we can talk about, okay, well, I need to be able to replace my roof. I need to be able to, like, I've got a loan on this car. I got to be able to replace it if something happens. That's fine. What do you want to happen, right? What do you want to be covered, right?
Yeah.
So when we take the customer to that level, which they're not getting from the direct carriers, like some of our biggest ones, like Progressive, it shifts that mindset from, okay, I'm just, signing a paper for this cost, for this piece of paper, for this amount of years, whatever. It's more about, okay, let's have a real relationship here on what that risk actually means.
Hold up. Just a quick pause in the zombie action. You're listening to Zombie Advisor, and I'm so pumped you're here. Got a question? Want to challenge something I said? Head over to boyumwa.com or hit the show notes to find me. Don't be shy. I'm not actually undead.
So I would say that customer service is going to come with the price.
Correct.
Okay. Yep. And we all know that we get what we pay for. Yeah. I've been very impressed with working with you, and so have our clients, and so are people who have worked with you for a long time. What separates your customer service from, let's just use no-name carrier.
Sure.
We're just going to say,
whoever. Okay. Yeah. So when I first started in this, I was starting to build some referral relationships, right? Realtors, mortgage people, whatever. And we would do a couple deals. And finally, one day, this guy called me, and we did a deal, and it took a day, I think, right? So he called me. He's got this customer. They're closing, whatever. So we do the deal, make it happen. Calls me, and he goes, "Are we done?" And I said, "Yeah." Like, he's fine. Like, nothing. And he's like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Yes, this is fine." I was like, "What's the deal?" And he goes, this is never that easy. This is never that easy. And I'm like, "Well, what do you mean?" He said, "So he'll call an insurance agent, or a customer will call their insurance agent, like, 'Yep, I need a quote on this home. I'm closing in 10 days. All right, we'll get back to you." Crickets, right? So what I found is with us, right? Number one, answer the phone, right? Like, answer the phone. Let's get back to that customer. That is, you can talk about urgent versus important, right? But both of those kind of go together, right? Yep. So like that customer calls you, they need this done. Let's get it done. High level service, get it done. The second piece is, how do we manage that, right? How do we manage that relationship, especially when they need it right away? So what separates us, I guess, to say is, we're not going to be slow, right? We're not going to be slow, and we're going to make sure that we hit all the points that we need to hit. And that might mean from the customer standpoint, we're going to ask you some questions that someone hasn't asked you before. But when we get back to this conversation about, okay, what do you want to have happen? That's really what this means, right? That we're making sure that all these hits are being taken care of, so that when that loss does happen, you're in good shape. So yeah, I think when you look at our industry today, there's a lot of, you've talked about this in the podcast before, but this massive wealth transfer that is happening. And I think more people in my cohort of this industry are starting to glean onto, okay, well, we better be Loctite on what that process is.
Mm-hmm.
We've just been ahead of it, I guess, is what separates us. Does that
you
make
get
sense?
yeah, but do you get training, or have you just thought about it as your CRM?
Um, I've had some really good mentors.
Okay.
Yep, I've had some really good mentors in my life who, um, it also is, where is your bread buttered, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why is this customer choosing us,
Right.
right? We want to make them really not think about anybody else, right?
Right.
Like, we want that relation to be so great, and that experience for them to be really high level that they don't want to turn anywhere else.
Right.
So we've thought about it a lot. We've done extensive work on, okay, what's our proven process from day one to that customer has now been with us for 10 years? Like, what does that path look like?
Mm-hmm.
And the feedback that we've gotten from the customers, yeah, like this feels right,
Yeah.
right? So they're not calling and leaving voicemails and waiting to email back. I mean, I'm a millennial, okay? I have this aversion to putting an out of office on my email.
Yep.
Right. So it's like, it hurts me. I think I had one on for like the last week. I was working on an external training thing. You probably got it. It's painful to me.
Yep.
I can't live like that.
Yep.
So it's all about what's that customer's experience with us, and how are they feeling when they're with us. So,
Totally. No, money is fungible. I've said that before. It has no face, doesn't care about your religion, doesn't care about your political affiliation, doesn't care if you played soccer in college or
right.
not.
Yeah.
Okay. But money also doesn't sleep, and urgent or catastrophic happens at the worst time.
Correct.
So it
Yep.
could be in the middle of the night, the tornado shows up. Accidents don't generally happen on a very bright day that's beautiful in the middle of the day.
That's right. Yep. That's right.
And
Yeah.
storms are occurring at night, and we're probably
Correct.
going to get another one tonight. So
Knock wood.
not on wood,
Yeah.
we don't get a call, but stuff happens.
Exactly. Yeah.
So not having your out of office is just a mindset of, I need to be there for the customer when they need me.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I think, I mean, you do a really good job of this, right? So when you communicate with the customer, and you talked about it again, I listened to all your podcasts. I think it's awesome.
Oh, thanks.
But you talk about this one customer that you had where it was some option deal, or I think it was an employee stock option,
Mhm.
and you were going to meet him at the airport or call him when he was on a layover, right?
Yep, the Roadrunner experience. I had to beep beep show up when he was at the airport.
This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Right. This is like the non-zombie, like the white glove experience for that customer. Like, where are we meeting them? How are we meeting them?
Yeah.
Let's make sure they're taken care of on their terms,
Right.
right? And making sure that, again, we're hitting all the right points so that when that loss happens, they're okay.
No, I agree. I'm going to start another podcast, and this is going to call the Zombie Dump, and it's going to be weekly experiences that we have where it's like, holy cow, let me tell you about this restaurant I went to. Let me tell you about this like gas station I went into, and I was trying to fill up with a pump, and they couldn't get anybody that would work on it. I mean, whatever experience that we have in our life. And there's different levels of customer service. And I said at the beginning, what we pay for is what we get. So if I'm paying for nothing, I go to Costco and I get what Costco gives me, I expect to pay nothing for the customer service. Yet Costco does a really good job of customer experience.
High level.
Very high level, very low cost.
Yep.
You could use Walmart in that example, right?
For sure.
You could change, you could just change and immediately what I'm talking about.
Yep, exactly.
But if we're going to go to like McDonald's, I'm not going to expect like, filet mignon service.
Correct.
So it's going to be different levels of service of what we pay for. I just think that the world has become so me-centered because of social media and the proliferation of that over the last 15 years that we forget that anybody else even exists.
Exactly.
And what did your uncle say to you? Like, why do you succeed?
Because you answer the phone.
Yeah.
Right? Like, answer the phone. Yeah. So my uncle, I'm glad you brought that up. So he's 80. And he's going to listen to this and be mad that I said his age, but he's 80.
Okay. He's a young 80.
Young 80.
Okay.
He's been in business on his own for forever. And he's done deals upon deals upon deals. And he'll call me sometimes for something, and I answer the phone. I usually answer the phone on the second or third ring. And he goes, "You know why you're so successful? Because you answer the phone."
Yeah.
Right? That doesn't, and it's true, right? Like, it's hard when you call somewhere and you get in a phone tree and you're trying to poke around. Like, we don't do that. We're pick it up, take care of it, get it done. Don't procrastinate. Like, that's the service.
No, I love that. Don't procrastinate. I always tell people, I'm not going to have your answer right away.
For sure. Yeah.
Sometimes I do.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's assume that my hit rate's higher than never.
Sure. Yeah.
But I just need to listen to what your problem is and then try to solve it, whether I can triage it now or get the people in place to go do it.
Correct. Yeah.
And if I hear my person, like if I call you and I say, Ian, I got this thing, and you go, okay, let me go do some research. I'll get back to you tomorrow. And you call me back tomorrow because you're like, is this urgent? Do I need it in an hour or is it a week from now?
Yeah.
It's like, well, tomorrow would be fine.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Call me back tomorrow.
Exactly.
And you call me back and you have the answer. And if you don't have the answer, you're like, still working on it, but I'll call you again tomorrow.
Exactly. Yeah.
People are like, cool, whatever.
Yeah. And there's, I'm sure you run into this too with, so like for us, like our partner is State Farm, right? So we have, processing times and all this stuff, right? And so there isn't always hey, exactly like you said, may not have the answer immediately. We're working on it and we're going to keep you abreast of everything, right? We're going to tell you exactly what's going on and what we need. And typically this stuff is relatively binary for the most part, right? So we're going to have to be pretty close on it. But yeah, you're right. It's communication, meeting the customer where they are. Exactly.
It's not always binary. I mean, it could be like a house remodel that has an electrical system that needs to be reviewed by a contractor. It might have happened to somebody.
Right? Solar panels, right? I had somebody call me about solar shingles last week, and I'm like, okay, this is new.
Unique.
Right? Yeah. So like, let's figure that out, right? So yes, you're right. There are wrenches that get thrown in there for sure.
We're going to see more of those solar panels probably.
For sure.
And we're going to see more things that are happening to our house because building materials are changing.
More storms,
right? Yep. And that's just the nature of the beast. Yep. We had a client, we helped get the house in New York. We just got their insurance. We found an insurance agent for them, got quotes. I reviewed the quotes. The rebuild for the house, so the house purchase was a couple $1 million. Okay. To rebuild the house was $4.5 million on the policy. And I was like, do we need $4.5 million to rebuild this house that we're buying today? I was like, what's the building cost in this part of New York? And we looked it up and I was like, it's close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'd be surprised.
It was close. I'm like,
location.
Right? It was location, building materials, and then the land. I was like, we didn't even value the land in this. No. Right. Yeah. But that was like, whoa. And then what's the rent? If there was a catastrophe, how long do we get covered? Like I was looking at all these things and I was kind of like, man, that's a lot of money for this policy.
Exactly. Yeah. They're up there. They're up there for sure.
It was.
Yeah.
Ian, I had a great time today.
This was awesome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for coming in. We'll talk about zombies more. You are not a zombie, my friend.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks again. And please, if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow us on YouTube, like and subscribe anywhere you can. Never miss a future conversation with us, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, James.
Thanks, Ian.
Yep.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to the Zombie Advisor with James Knapp. Don't forget to hit that follow button so you never miss an episode. Want to learn more? Visit us at boyumwa.com, BOYUMWA.com, or give us a call at 651-289-6444. The information covered and posted represents the views and opinions of the guest and does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of Boyum Wealth Architects. The content has been made available for informational and educational purposes only and is not intended as a substitute for professional investing advice. Always consult your financial advisor or other qualified service providers with any questions you may have regarding your personal investment planning.